Hello, everyone. Happy Constitution Day. My name is Shoba Sivaprasad Wadhia. I am an immigration attorney and I teach at Penn State Law, immigration and refugee law, as well as run a clinic called the Center for Immigrants Rights Clinic. I wanted to tell you a little bit about our mission, and that is to train law students to become effective immigration attorneys and advocates. And we do a wide range of work at the clinic, including participation in Constitution Day each year. But we work on individual cases too, like for an asylum seeker who is fleeing harm from their home country, or with community partners like the State College Municipality. Students have trained police officers on immigration. And similarly, with our school district, we've worked on material for immigration educators, or what educators need to know about immigration. I was asked to talk about the relationship between the Eighth Amendment and immigration in honor of Constitution Day 2020. And I think there are really three ways that the Eighth Amendment intersects, or rather should intersect, with immigration law and policy. And before I go there, I want to underscore the fact that the Constitution applies to everyone, including immigrants. So when someone says, oh, do immigrants have rights under the Constitution? Do they have a right to due process, for example? The answer is yes. The question and the answers become more complicated when we think about how much protection an immigrant has, or what the nature of those protections or rights are. So when we look at the Eighth Amendment, it deals with both cruel and unusual punishment as well as excessive punishment. And there are really three areas that I think we should look at closely. The first is with respect to detention. Thousands of immigrants are held in immigration detention every year, and many are held in conditions that are inhumane. They may receive inadequate medical care. They may not have the same protections that the American government is asking every American to take in the wake of COVID-19. So I think medical neglect is a huge concern in immigration detention. Also is how long someone's detained. When does someone's length in detention become so long that it constitutes cruel and unusual punishment? We also have this question asked in a Fifth Amendment due process frame that's been answered positively by the US Supreme Court, who said that there can be a moment in someone's detention where it's too prolonged to be consistent with due process. But with respect to the Eighth Amendment, these arguments have been harder, but are worthy of exploration. A third way I want to think about the Eighth Amendment and immigration is with regard to bail. Does an immigrant in detention have the right to a bail hearing at all? And second, if someone does have the right to bail, is the amount reasonable? And I think these two questions open up the door to explore how excessive bail or the denial of a bail hearing may dovetail with Eighth Amendment concerns. And let me end with the punishment, or what is sometimes not considered to be punishment in the formal sense, of deportation. When is deportation so excessive that it should raise an Eighth Amendment concern? If not practically, normatively. If we look at who has been deported in the last couple of decades, it has included mothers and fathers, people who've lived in the United States for a long time, parents of US citizen children, contributors to our American economy, culture, or education. So these are the same people who are deported, for whom we might question whether deportation was too excessive. So I hope this raises some questions for how we might think about the Eighth Amendment and immigration. And I am honored to be part of this video series. Thank you.